Last October, RFK was rocking like the good old days again, as DC United was able to make it to the Major League Soccer playoffs for the first time in 3 years after a last-second goal by Lewis Neal.
Stadium in Washington is sold out for the 122nd consecutive time. That should come as no surprise, as the Dallas Cowboys are in town for the NFC Championship against the Washington Redskins. And this town and these fans have gone Redskin wild.
Since its creation in 1961, Robert F. Kennedy Stadium has been the major sports building in Washington, D.C. It has become known for its cookie-cutter shape, bouncing seats, and being the home venue for the Washington Redskins for 36 years. Larry Michael, radio broadcaster for the Washington Redskins, says that the stadium brings nostalgic feelings for fans who remember the team for its old glory days.
In the team's history, and for most everybody around these days, and not that many people remember Griffith Stadium. You do have some old-timers that do, but everybody around who has a memory of the Redskins Super Bowls remembers RFK Stadium being the site, and how those stands would be able to bounce up and down with the movement of the fans. And Joe Theismann actually told me that you could feel the ground shaking on some occasions when the fans were jumping up and down so hard on those lower level bleachers. You actually could feel the ground shaking, and that's you feel like that is something you'll never forget. So I think that's where the nostalgia comes from, the fact that those were the Super Bowl championship years. And
as the Redskins left the stadium in 1995, DC United became its permanent tenant in 1996. 17 years later, as fans do enjoy the stadium's quirks, many of them don't think that the stadium is a long-term solution, as the rest of the teams in Major League Soccer have their own soccer-specific stadiums.
I'm part of the supporters group. I'm part of the Screaming Eagles, so I am just pretty much sitting in the supporters section for 90 minutes straight, just cheering on DC United. It's been around since the 60s. I mean, I personally love coming here. I'm a DC United fan, but I think it's time to get a new stadium. Just plain and simple. It's getting run down, seats are getting torn apart. Other than that, just new stadium. I think it's getting old. It needs to go.
It's not fit to be a soccer stadium. It's actually pretty old in my opinion.
But I agree.
And I think DC United actually needs a better stadium, one that fits the needs of soccer fans. Just because we've seen other teams actually build their own stadiums, and we've seen more people come to the stadiums, either because the stadium is smaller and you can actually, you don't need that many people to fill it up.
What a lot of people don't know, or if people know it, they don't talk about it, is that the Washington Nationals really put about 20 years of use into RFK in those 3 years that they were there. Because when the Redskins left at the end of 1996, the only thing that was a regular tenant there was DC United. And DC United only has about 15 home games a year. And even though the stadium was old, even in the late 90s, it was still definitely workable. But then in 2005, the Nationals came in, and all of a sudden, the 15 or 20 games that DC United had became 80 games. And instead of having 15 to 20,000 people for DC United, you had 50,000 people for all these home games. So just the wear and tear of the stadium got totally blown out of proportion in those 3 years. Major League Baseball brought the Nats to Washington without a stadium, so there were those 3 years that they played at RFK.
Currently, DC United is working on building a new stadium in Buzzard Point in southwest DC. If the team were to move out, the future of RFK would be uncertain.
I think the ownership group is doing the right thing. They know they need a stadium. Everyone knows they need a stadium. People don't realize it's tough to do things in Washington, D.C. It's not just about the money right now. It's about a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, and it's tough. And I don't think any of the owners that have bought DC United over the past 10 years, everyone wants to build a stadium. I don't think anybody has really understood when they climb aboard how difficult it's going to be in D.C.
Until then, fans have promised to stick with good old RFK and cheer their team from the bouncing seats.